Hello, and welcome to the HubFest live show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. And today I am joined by Tigrilla Gardenia. She is a nature-inspired leadership mentor who collaborates with plants to help you lead your life with confidence so that you can make an impact for yourself, your networks, and the planet. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Tigrilla.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super happy to be here.
And I know you're based over in the States as well, so an early start for you, but I'm really pleased you could join me today live.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things. I'm based in Italy, but today here I am in the United States. So
fantastic, fantastic. So many call you a world ambassador for plant intelligence. So how did you discover the power of plants and learn about their unique qualities? What's kind of led you to this?
So to me, I live in Damanhur, which is one of the largest spiritual eco communities in the world, which is located, like I said, in northern Italy. And there we have a technology that has been developed over many years called the music of the plants. And it's a small device that allows plants to become musicians. And I kind of fell into the world of plants sort of by accident. I'm a music engineer by training, and an electrical engineer, and I've worked in high tech. I have a really vast background. Left the United States on tour with Cirque du Soleil, so also an artistic background. So I've got this sort of creativity and this engineering side, and music has always been my channel. And so the first time I heard the music of the plants, it sort of opened my eyes. I kept looking for the human musician because of course that's what we do. And when I saw that the music was coming from a plant, it sort of, I don't know, it was like a language. Well, actually they say that people think that music is a language, but in reality, language is a musicality. Music came first. And so that instinct of being able to just all of a sudden understand a plant, like I could understand what the plant wanted to say through this music. And that started me down the rabbit hole of what is plant intelligence? What is plant cognition? What is plant neurobiology? Wait a minute, are plants intelligence? Are plants thinking? And there it is. That was it. I was hooked.
Oh, wow. And so that's really amazing. I would love to hear some of that. I'm sure you've got stuff that you can share as well afterwards that we can mention in the comments. So how do you weave together, because you obviously your main thing is now sort of nature-inspired leadership and mentorship. So how do you weave together your kind of plant and leadership knowledge, and do you find that they're a natural match?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, leadership is, the old models of leadership, the kind of more masculine dominated was the leader knows everything, the leader tells you what to do, the leader kind of takes control. But today we know that real leadership is about collaboration, inspiration, listening, really deep listening, being able to have that exchange and being able to bring out the best in others. And who better to do that than a plant? I mean, plants have to build these ecosystems. Very rarely do you have a plant. Actually, you never have a plant that is quote unquote alone, right? Because plants always have other types of entities, other types of beings that are around them. You have, even if a plant that's in a pot plant all by themselves, right? The plant really is in harmony with the soil, with all the microbes, with everything. They have to constantly be regulating these relationships. So when you look at plants as models and mentors, even just starting as a model, right? I look at the plant world, I can start to understand, well, how do relationships look? What are the kinds of relationships plants create? We as humans think that relationships are all sort of the same, right? Give and take. But in the natural world, there's lots of different types of relationships. There's antagonistic relationships, parasitic relationships, commensal relationships, relationships where I give and I get nothing back, seemingly, relationships where instead I take and I don't give. And each one of them has kind of rules, not rules so much, but guidelines and ways that they work. So when you study them, it opens you up to the understanding that, wait a minute, if I'm nature too, if I'm a natural being, because we all are, right? Nature's not really outside of us. We are a part of nature. And so I can look at those relationships and understand new ways of developing my own relationships with the people that are around me, but also with my own environment. So it really sort of working directly with plants as models and then eventually as mentors, having that two-way conversation with them to be able to kind of look at problems in a much more natural way, in a way that is more about inclusivity. It's more about unity. It's more about understanding when I'm supposed to be the I and when I'm supposed to be the we, because all plants do this. Individual species maybe have their own characteristics, but yet part of a greater ecosystem and is always connected. So it's the idea that I am nature, that I am with nature, and I am also observing nature. And therefore, I can learn from all three of these different scenarios.
Oh, wow, that sounds helpful. I love it. I'm hooked already. Tell me more. Where do I
Yay!
sign up? Which leads on to my next question, actually. So where will we begin to work with plants ourselves?
There's a lot of different ways. So I introduce people into plants kind of. I have a little quiz called the Your Spirit Wild Plant, and it allows you to start to pick one plant that you can work with. And so with your Spirit Wild Plant, and by wild plants, most people will call them weeds. I call them wild plants because
I love weeds.
I do too, right? Think about it right there, right? How many things can you learn from a dandelion or a cattail or a chickweed, right? You have resilience. You have the ability to propagate. So if I'm doing a marketing message, I can look at these different plants and really think about when do they choose which way they propagate their seeds? Some drop them, some explode, some have air, some instead like really spend a lot of energy to create something big. All of these types of seeds help us really understand, how do I diffuse a message? How do I get something out there? So starting with wild plants, which are everywhere, allows us to sort of start a relationship with a plant that has a whole series of characteristics that can help us. Some are a little bit more flowy, they like a cattail that's in water. Or you have, like I said, chickweed, which grows kind of in abundance, or you have dandelions, which are super resistant. You can't really kill one to save your life. They'll just come back in droves. And so a great way is to really just start with one plant, and even it could be a pot plant in your own house, to start that relationship and start looking at them with different eyes, understanding their own intelligence. What does communication mean to a plant? Because plants are constantly communicating. What are the senses? How do they really pick things up? So I introduce people into this. And so I work kind of as a teacher, so teaching sort of plant intelligence, but more than anything, helping you reawaken, to reconnect your relationship with the plant kingdom so that you can start to have these mentorship and model relationships on your own. And then I do one-on-one work where I help my clients specifically in whatever it is that they want to do, what to evolve to the next level. So that's where the leadership, and it's business leadership and personal leadership. How do you really become the leader of your life the way plants are? Because each individual plant, like I said, really does create themselves inside of an ecosystem. And we need to learn now how to be the I inside of the we.
Fantastic. I love that. Really love that. And it feels very sort of close to what I do. I did a course in permaculture, and that kind of just sort of sparked so many ideas, and the metaphors and the analogies that you can use with the plant kingdom as well. I'm working with a bit of that, but yeah, I think I'll probably have to give you a shout and have a call. So you do have an offer, I believe.
I do.
You want to tell us a little bit about that and where we can find that?
So I have a community called the Naturally Conscious Community. It's pretty simple. It's just community.tigrillagardenia.com. So that's where my community is. And there you'll see a whole series of different offers. But I want to actually offer your audience an opportunity to enter my course. I have a 7-module course called Reconnect with the Plant Kingdom that normally it costs $219. It's US dollars. But I want to offer it to your audience for $99.99.
Oh, thank you so much. That is awesome.
So I will give you the link. So I'm going to send it to you because I want to have that link specifically that you can go in there and find it. And I'm really excited about this course because it is an opportunity to really enter into the world, the plant mind, to start to really understand what are all these terms. But more than anything, what we don't think about is that we sort of close ourselves off when we're thinking about business or how I'm going to grow. to certain aspects. We don't think a little bit outside the box, which is really what the plants help us do. So for example, that course talks about life and death. And life and death can be physical, like my own life and my death, but also metaphorical, right? A business has many lives and deaths, right? I build up and I birth new things, and then maybe that part dies off, and then I build off in new aspects. And then I also talk about that we and that I. What is an ecosystem? What does it mean to eat? What is our food? When you start to understand that the beings that are on your plate are intelligent and aware that you're eating them. So there's all kinds of different considerations that we can take in and really start that relationship building with the natural world that is beyond just thinking sustainability, because sustainability still thinks of plants as objects to a certain extent. But we want to go beyond that object. We want to really be the fact that this being is making that sacrifice for us, and therefore it's up to us to respect what that plant has to offer.
Be grateful for that. That's we're out of time, but I know. But I do want to hear what your top eco tip is.
Ooh, my top eco tip, to be honest, is to stop, connect with whatever object it is, because most likely any object that you have in your hand, whether that's, you're purchasing something or whatever, comes from a plant source at one point. And just connect to the object, like try to connect back to the source, and let yourself really be guided by whether or not you really want it. What I have found, the more that I work with plants, is the less that I need. And therefore my footprint has actually been reduced, not because I've been thinking about it, like I have to cut this out or cut this out or cut this out, but by the natural connection that when I see an object, I recognize I don't want to waste that life of that plant. So therefore, I'm not going to purchase it, or I'm not going to, use that, because I don't feel it. I don't feel that connection to it. So that's my eco tip.
That is brilliant, and I think it's an easy one for people to take on board for their sustainability journey as well. I think that's really great. Oh, I could talk for hours. So, and I'm sure everyone listening as well and watching the replay, you guys are going to have heaps of questions. Do sign up to the offer. I'll post the link in afterwards. But Tigrilla and I will get in there and throughout the day and answer your comments, questions, and everything that you have. And we're going to have to get you back for a longer slot at some point. We were talking about this earlier. So thank you so much for joining us.
It's absolutely been my pleasure. And I look forward to everybody's questions.
Oh, thank you. To our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you same time next week. Take care. Bye-bye.